So let's take a quick look at some of those some of those changes in my little ASP.NET 4 application here. Now here we are. This is my my web.config in this application, and actually there's only one active line in here other than the stuff I've added to support this this demo, and that is to set the compilation debug attribute to true, and to set the target framework. These connection strings and caching elements are things I've added to support my my output caching demo. So literally it is one line of active code in web.config. Everything else, as I say, lives now in machine.config. And I just add whatever I need for my particular application. I wanted to show you this concept of being able to output cache to different locations. So traditionally, well, today, ASP.NET, if you use the output cache, it goes to memory. I've built a SQL Server output cache provider, so I can now opt to cache stuff into SQL Server. And what I have on this page here are just two user controls. The only difference between those user controls is that one of them caches to the standard output cache. Oops, in fact, I've already got them open. One of them caches to the standard output cache, as you can see there, and this one uses my SQL cache provider. The page itself, if I just run it up, doesn't do very much other than display the time. That caching is for, I think, 100 seconds, so hopefully if we refresh the page, we should see that page doesn't get rebuilt. It's cached, so it just pulls it from the cache. Now, I could just say, there we go, SQL Server output caching. To demonstrate to you that there is actually something else going on here with that second user control, let me just stop the server and bring up the page again. Now, obviously, having killed the server, the output cache, the memory output cache is volatile, and we'll have lost that. So it has to be rebuild the page and recache again. So we should see a different time on the default output cache, and sure enough we do. Whereas my SQL Server output cache, being non-volatile, it's getting pushed into SQL Server. I've sucked out that same cached version again and displayed it on the page. So it's not a very exciting page. It's just to demonstrate it is relatively straightforward to build yourself a new provider and push your output cache, or indeed your object cache, to different alternative data stores. And then finally, my code blocks. I mentioned now that we have an alternative syntax for code blocks. Here we have a page that's just simply echoing some content to the screen. Imagine that's coming from a web service or perhaps from a database call or something. In my case, it's coming from just a property on my page, which I've intentionally set up to do some nasty cross-site scripting stuff. And of course, today, if I view that in the browser, well, fortunately, they've popped up an alert to tell me there's something rotten going on. But sure enough, essentially, I've lost control of my site and delegated that to somebody else because I'm susceptible to a cross-site scripting attack. If I just change that syntax to the colon syntax and view in browser, well, at least now I am rendering the HTML encoded version of that piece of script, and of course, it doesn't get executed in the browser, and I'm still remain in control of my site.